What was laid out on SportsCenter tonight has completely shifted the conversation around the Lakers' offseason. Following the huge news that Luka Doncic officially signed a contract extension with Los Angeles, new reports have emerged revealing what's next for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers' front office. And this could mark a major turning point for the franchise. Now, according to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, that extension wasn't just about locking up a superstar, it was the beginning of a bigger plan. One insider described it as the first domino, and the segment broke down exactly how that conversation unfolded between Pelinka, Doncic, and the team's decision-maker. The Lakers didn't just sit down with Luka to sign a deal, they mapped out the path to building a contender around him. According to the report, during a private dinner meeting, Luka was encouraged to speak openly about what he believed the team needed to win at the highest level. And he didn't hold back. He told them straight up, they needed a pick-and-pop threat, a defensive stopper on the wing, and a true rim protector. He wasn't naming names, but the archetypes were clear. Players who could stretch the floor, guard multiple positions, and allow him and LeBron James to operate with space and pace. That insight from Luka has since been guiding the front office's trade calls and internal discussions, and it was made clear tonight that Rob Pelinka is far from finished making moves. On the show, they also revisited comments Pelinka made earlier in the week, where he mentioned that one of the top priorities going forward was finding a reliable lob-catching big, someone who could play in tandem with Luka and take pressure off LeBron defensively. And not just that, Pelinka added that acquiring more versatile two-way wings like Jake LaRavia and Marcus Smart was a calculated effort to surround their stars with defense, toughness, and players who can guard across multiple positions. The message from Pelinka was simple: they're not satisfied yet. And that point was emphasized again during SportsCenter, that the Lakers see this moment as an opportunity to go all in, to not waste the Doncic-LeBron window. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. During the media availability surrounding Doncic's extension, reporters noticed the presence of several names who could be involved in upcoming deals: DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, all in attendance. But no LeBron. And while it could mean nothing, the panel on ESPN pointed out that it's often at these pressers where subtle clues emerge about who's in the future plans and who might be on the move. What's also worth noting is that J.J. Redick, the new head coach, was prominently involved during the entire presser, and sources say he's been playing an active role behind the scenes in shaping the rotation and lobbying for certain types of players. One analyst mentioned that Redick's presence, alongside Doncic's rising influence, might be accelerating certain decisions that the front office previously planned to wait on. The other part that was stressed heavily is the timeline. Doncic didn't want to wait. According to Ryan Ruocco's segment, the reason the Lakers haven't made their next major splash is because they were waiting for this extension to go through. They wanted Luka locked in before pulling the trigger on their next big trade. Now that the extension is official, the expectation around the league is that a trade is imminent. They even showed a graphic of the cap space and draft pick control moving forward, and explained how Pelinka and Doncic used that dinner to talk about which draft assets were available, which picks had already been moved, and how they could creatively build a contender within the constraints of the new CBA. Luka wanted clarity, and the front office provided it, but the expectation now is that the Lakers will be aggressive. And it wasn't just about the present. The conversation was also about long-term roster construction. If the Lakers want to make another deep playoff run, they need to fill those last holes with players who can play a role immediately and grow alongside Luka in the coming season. And that's why names like Malik Monk, Buddy Hield, and even a potential flyer on a versatile defender like Royce O'Neal are being quietly discussed. Again, this isn't just about throwing bodies on the roster. This is about maximizing a window that doesn't stay open forever. LeBron is still playing at an elite level, but this team clearly belongs to Luka now, and the moves they make from here on out are going to define not just this season, but the next 5. And according to Shams Charania, who, of course, was the first to break the news of the extension, Rob Pelinka is reportedly still in active discussions to reshape the roster even further. The deals for LaRavia and Marcus Smart were a start, but SportsCenter made it clear those weren't meant to be the final pieces. They were stepping stone. The front office knew more work needed to be done, and tonight's reporting only confirms that the next phase is coming. So now, we wait. Because as one analyst put it during the show, when Luka Doncic commits to you, the least you can do is build the best possible team around him. And based on everything we've heard, the Lakers intend to do exactly that. Now continuing what was laid out on SportsCenter, it wasn't just Pelinka's comments that sparked attention. It was also what Luka Doncic himself said during that media availability. The message was clear. Luka believes in this team, but he's also fully aware that the job isn't done yet. According to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, the Lakers are still active behind the scenes. Trades are still on the table, and the front office isn't viewing this current roster as the final version of the 2025 Lakers. During the same press conference, Luka said, "I think we have a great team. We've got what we need to compete for a title. LeBron's trying to win every night, and we've got some great new guys, so we're going for it." Now, of course, that's exactly what you'd expect your franchise player to say, right? It's a classic media answer. Confident, positive, focused on winning, but don't let that fool you. Behind the scenes, the Lakers are still exploring ways to upgrade this roster. And that brings us to a new behind-the-scenes detail that SportsCenter revealed. After the big extension was signed, Rob Pelinka and head coach J.J. Redick sat down once again with Luka's camp, specifically his business manager, to go over cap strategy, roster construction, and trade flexibility. One quote that jumped out was Luka reportedly saying, "I don't want to wait. I've had a taste of the finals. I'm trying to get back. Let's do whatever it takes now." That mentality speaks volume, and the Lakers are responding to it. The dinner meeting that triggered Luka's extension was more than just a formality. It was a planning session. This wasn't the first time they'd done something like this either. At the trade deadline, there was another similar meeting where Luka and Pelinka discussed possible targets, including Mark Williams. This time around, the names were different. Guys like Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Jake LaRavia were highlighted as foundational pieces who could help bring toughness and versatility on both ends of the floor. And Luka didn't just sign the extension and go home, he's been extremely active in recruiting. According to what was said tonight, Luka has personally taken on the role of recruiter, helping bring in names like Ayton and Smart. He's said to be directly involved in conversations behind the scenes and sees himself as responsible for shaping a winning roster. When asked about his new teammates, Luka said, "I've played against these guys before, but never with them. I'm glad they're on my team now." Now, all of that is great, but SportsCenter quickly pivoted to one name in particular that's been heating up in trade rumors, and that's Malik Monk. The report said that the Lakers are firmly in the mix for the Kings' scoring guard, and odds makers now have Los Angeles right behind Golden State as favorites to land him. Essentially, they're tied with the Warriors, and when you look at what Malik Monk brings to the table, it makes a ton of sense. The Lakers need bench scoring. That's been one of the biggest holes on the roster since the Luka-LeBron pairing came together, and Malik Monk, he checks that box better than almost anyone. Last season, he averaged 17.2 points per game and finished second in Sixth Man of the Year, voting behind Naz Reid. He had to step into the starting lineup after the Kings traded De'Aaron Fox, and he thrived. Now, some people may see that and say you'd be trading high on him, but he's proven he can give you buckets on any night, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. And here's the thing, he's exactly what the Lakers need. A microwave scorer who can change the momentum of a game the second he checks in. Sure, he's not an elite defender, but he can hold his own, and his scoring would make life so much easier for Luka and LeBron. Right now, the Lakers are relying on bench production from guys like Gabe Vincent, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart, who are all capable, but they're not proven bucket getters like Monk. If the Lakers want to be a top-tier team, they need real firepower off that bench. Now, financially speaking, Monk is entering the second year of a 4-year, $78 million deal, which is reasonable value for his production. The Kings might be willing to move him for the right package, especially if they continue retooling. And you can bet the Lakers have already done their homework. Rob Pelinka knows this isn't just about getting flashy names. It's about filling very specific roles. Monk gives them scoring. DeAndre Ayton gives them interior defense and rebounding. Marcus Smart gives them perimeter toughness and championship experience. The next question is, what would the Lakers be willing to give up in a potential Monk trade? Would they include Gabe Vincent, Jalen Hood-Schifino, maybe even a future first-round pick? That remains to be seen. But according to SportsCenter, the Lakers are willing to get aggressive if they feel the player can raise their ceiling. Also discussed was the team's need for a reliable pick-and-pop big. Right now, they don't really have that in-house. Jackson Hayes is more of a rim runner. DeAndre Ayton has flashed some mid-range shooting, but he's not a floor spacer by trade. That's where someone like Nikola Vucevic comes in. SportsCenter mentioned his name as a potential target if the Lakers go hunting for more offensive versatility at the 5. Vucevic can stretch the floor, rebound, and facilitate from the high post, traits that would complement both Luka and LeBron's game. Ultimately, there are a lot of directions the front office could go from here. Whether it's Malik Monk, Vucevic, or a totally unexpected move, the message remains the same. The Lakers aren't done. Luka Doncic doesn't want to wait. The team has momentum, and with the right finishing touches, they could be looking at a legitimate shot at the title. More reports are expected to drop in the coming days, and ESPN made it clear Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office are still very much in go mode. One analyst even said tonight, "Don't be surprised if the Lakers make one more major splash before camp opens." And that wraps up this portion of the coverage. Let us know what you think. Is Malik Monk the missing piece? Should they go after a stretch 5 like Vucevic? Or is there another name flying under the radar? Either way, one thing's clear. The Lakers are still working, and big moves could be just around the corner.